Hey everybody, welcome back, and if this is your first time, welcome. My name is Max Haddad, and today we're watching Lockup Raw. I'll be honest, I don't know what that is. I know it's about jail, and I know that it looks like the beginning of this one is about somebody that tried to kill themselves. So please, if that's something that's going to really, really upset you, be discerning if you're going to watch this or not, or don't watch at all. Take care of yourself. But enjoy. I know you guys liked this the last time I did it, and I had a lot of fun with it too. So let's begin.
Due to mature subject matter, viewer discretion is advised.
I'll probably skip ahead with some of this just because it's like a 45-minute episode.
Frame position. That's not a frame position. Not a frame.
And some inmates just can't handle the pressure.
It happens. It does. I'm going to be doing that a lot. Before we get into it, this is something that's been argued about a lot lately, publicly, nationally, whatever, on the news, whatever it is. Cops, COs, that sort of thing are not trained to handle somebody in a psychiatric crisis. There's a reason that people go to school for 8+ years and then intern under a trained psychiatrist to learn how to deal with people that want to kill themselves. And I think it only becomes more complicated when that person is a drug addict, is in jail, is in prison, whatever it is. So pay attention. Let's learn together. Let's see how well these COs handle somebody who is in a pretty precarious, sensitive situation. A 30-day boot camp to be a CO or a cop is not enough. Okay, now it's called lockdown, not lockup. Doesn't look like maximum security to me. Just they wouldn't be in an open air dorm.
Most of them charged with felony, murder, robbery, kidnapping, drugs. It's always tense at county, but now it's the week
that sucks.
Christmas. It's harder than
I started this channel around the holidays. It's been about 40 days now, which is crazy. It feels like it's been forever. This is so much a part of my life. You guys are so much a part of my life, but it was around Christmas, so I couldn't help but think about spending New Year's, spending July 4th, which was always weird, seeing fireworks, celebrating independence and freedom while I was behind bars. Christmas, all that. Couldn't help but think about it, so it's a little yuck to see this.
especially for Antoine Prim.
Take me to the hole. I can't take it any longer.
5 days in jail. He's just tried
5 days in jail.
Taking sight.
Nice. Nice. I can't take it anymore. I'm not a criminal. Cool. Face the wall. Awesome. Face the wall. Look at this fucking guy. He doesn't even want to see this person. He's got gloves on. Can't touch him. He might be gross. Just tried to kill himself. So it said after 5 days in jail, he tried to jump off the top rail. Now, it wasn't high enough. I don't think he would have died, but he would have gotten hurt, broken a leg or something like that. If you've not done time before, I'll speak for myself. The first week that I did just in county jail was nightmarish. Now, all of it was bad, but the first little bit that I did was excruciating. Having never experienced being taken away from everything that you loved before, that first period is such a adjustment that it can make you feel desperate. I did. I felt panicky. I felt hopeless. I felt in danger, all that stuff. I didn't know how to carry myself. I didn't know how to comfort myself emotionally. I had not learned how to self-soothe yet. The only thing I'd done historically to do that was get high. Because I'm a drug addict. Because I'm addicted to drugs because I have a mental illness, just like this guy does. Not a moral failing.
He's an unemployed handyman, busted for possession of illegal drugs.
I'm not no criminal. I'm 38 years old. I've never been in a felony.
It's the first time he's ever been charged with a crime.
Inmate Prim, cell 22, was kind of losing it. Decided he didn't want to be here anymore. Was going to jump over the top rail. One of the other inmates grabbed him, told him, "Hold on, what you doing?"
That's nice.
I never been over here. I can't take it.
I think it's his first time on a major charge. This is what he kept saying. He's just kind of panicking. Didn't want to be here. It's the holidays. It always happens around the holidays. Everybody doesn't want to be here around Christmas. So I assume
Just the holidays. The rest of the year, everybody's having a great old time. So that's tough. You saw. Now, I don't want to put that officer in the hot seat. And this is old, anyways. No, it's not. It's just from 2 years ago. Well, I still don't want to put him in the hot seat. He's not been trained. So, yeah, he failed. He's not doing a very good job being sensitive. I think he probably hates the dude, but that's a personal opinion. I can't prove that other than looking at his face and guessing. But it's not his fault that he hasn't been trained to deal with that kind of thing. It is it is an upper level failing that he is the guy that responds when somebody is having an emotional crisis. Okay. This guy is 38. He is a drug addict. All he got caught with was having drugs on him, not selling it to little kids at a playground, not forcing his partner to get high at gunpoint, not robbing somebody with a weapon, not hurting somebody. Now, yes, he's hurting people by getting high. He's talking about his kids, how much he loves them. Obviously, there's some cognitive dissonance there. I love my babies. I want to be with them, but I'm getting high. But that's why it is different. It's a mental illness. It's not just him not, oh, you should have thought about it. He does think about it. He's in excruciating pain every day knowing that he's not being the father that he could be. I guarantee you that. Drug addicts are not often stupid. In fact, I think a lot of times they are acutely aware of their failings. I talked about it yesterday. They're traumatized. They are made to feel ashamed, and they've gotten really good at knowing what they should be ashamed of. And he is getting high to cover that up, to cover up whatever happened earlier in his life, to just cut the feelings off because he can't take them anymore. So trust me, he knows. He knows. It's not that cop's fault that he doesn't know how to take care of him, but it shouldn't be the guy. He shouldn't be the one that's there. All right, we're at the next part of the episode now, talking about the building itself, I think.
The violent and the out of control. More than 2,000 inmates spread over 12 floors in this
That's
sprawling
crazy.
high-rise facility.
Yeah, okay. So that looks a lot like the first place that I went to, RDC, that place where you're basically evaluated before you go to prison. Now, this is just a county jail in a city. I'm not sure where. You guys could probably easily find out if you just give it a goog, but that's basically what it looked like. This big concrete building, huge, just made to house tons of people at the same time. And if I never have to wear these Croc flip-flops ever again, it'll be too soon.
Floors in this sprawling high-rise facility. Many are young offenders between 18 and 25.
The worst.
The prisoners who are most likely to cause trouble. The jail keeps most of them in separate pods.
Coincidentally, the people who've probably gotten the least amount of help in their
10
life.
a.m., 7th floor. This pod full of young offenders may be about to explode.
Oh, damn.
The jail security unit has just been tipped off that a brazen new gang may be planning.
So
an
somebody's
attack on other
snitching.
inmates. Their name, the Heartless Felons.
The Harlems.
So we're living in an 8-ball
Never heard of
gang
them.
unit where we're trying to play catch up here because it's about the first couple years.
Somebody
we've
like
had
a group of young people clicked up at a county jail. They're gonna get a rude awakening when they get to big boy prison, though, because you don't get to make your own gangs. You either join with something that already exists or you stay neutral. That's it.
No problem with our gangs. We got a little Heartless Felon group running around here now. Our juvenile offenders, they graduate to big boy jail now, and when they get here, they click up.
Had a bunch of maybe it's a subset of some bigger gang. I've never ever heard that before. But again, a stupid name.
Accused of killing one man and shooting 2 others at a local bar.
Santa killed somebody, shot 2 other people while in the process of killing somebody. But it ain't happen how they said it happened. You know what I'm saying? They said I did something. I said
Didn't happen how he
They
said
say
it
somebody
happened.
said they seen me do it. I said they lying. You know what I'm saying?
So it
Story goes
sounds
on
like
and
he's
on.
saying it happened, but it didn't happen. Like it was in self-defense or something like that.
General of the Heartless Felons.
I've noticed a lot of times people feel that there's like a loophole in the charge that they're receiving. Like, yeah, I murdered him. Like, they won't deny the big thing, but they'll say, but it didn't happen like that. They'll try to like throw a wrench in the cog somehow to get. Everybody has this pipe dream that they're going to get it dismissed, that they're going to get let off the hook because of some paperwork problem, because of some CO some cop that said the wrong thing when they were filling it out, whatever. That the judge is going to say, well, we don't have all the facts straight, so you're free to go. And it never happens. It does happen, but it never happens like that. So that reminds me so much of guys saying, you know, like, yeah, but it wasn't like that. And it's like, okay, well, if you still did it, they're going to find a way to send you to prison. Trust me, even if they drop the charge to a lower felony.
From what I see, it's all violence from what I understand.
You're fucked.
Nothing else I can tell you about it from. I'm gonna tell you what I see. You know what I'm saying? Violence.
It's talking about the heartless felons
From
or
what
just
I know,
the jail.
It's a variety of everybody. Young guys, older guys, COs.
Yeah.
Some of all that.
That was crazy. You know, I did that at the same time. That's funny. Saying that the COs are in on it. At the prison I was at, there were COs that were smuggling in drugs. Basically, they would pay them on the outside. Somebody connected on the outside that they were connected to on the outside would pay the CO if the CO brought in drugs.
Minor denies any ties to the heartless felons, but says he respects their power.
It's a powerful movement. Everybody want to eat at the same table.
That dude is way too excited about the heartless felons for it not to be something he's... Look at him.
Hell of a rap.
You know when a little kid like does something bad, but he's kind of proud of it, he kind of thinks he's cool? That's like the same... It's like the same smile.
Because of the reputation they hold. Hardest felons hold a hell of a rep.
Yeah, he's not going to admit to it, but he's like...
Stopping the heartless felons is just one of the challenges facing Officer Theveny and the SRT.
Dude's got a tough job.
They handle security and safety for the entire jail.
Ugh, shackles. Those are leg shackles.
Everything from disturbed prisoners to inmate-on-inmate assaults to officers in distress.
We're here to maintain control and security in this facility. My job is to respond to any and all
Leg shackles have
emergencies in this jail.
thicker chains. That's the only difference between them and handcuffs.
Fights, riots, and any other emergencies that might arise in this facility.
The inmates know them as the Men in Black for their distinctive uniforms.
No, they don't.
They even got a song when the SRTs come, the people that wear all black, we got a song, you know what I'm saying? When they come, they call it "Here Come the Men in Black."
Well, that's a song from the movie, so it's not your song. That's a joke that guy told. And then the film crew, like, or the producer that was probably on site when they were recording this to get a better idea of what was going on, decided to paint the picture like the inmates are all like, oh, it's the Men in Black. That's not. That was one dude telling a joke. Although I will say, the whenever the like drug-related CO unit, I should remember the name, but I don't, was involved, like would come to our dorm because they did like intermittent searches on the prison and, you know, strip everybody down and all that, and they wore olive green. Like, we did know that was them, so I'm sure that these guys know, like, oh, they're wearing black, they're here regarding like a gang something or a drug something. But they're not sitting there like singing from Men in Black.
When they see the Men in Black or the SRT team coming, that fun time's over. Whatever they're doing, they better stop because we're there to take control of that
I always have a
situation.
problem when COs feel like they're tough. Not because they're not tough, like they very well might be, but that's not your job. Your job is not to show up and feel cool. Your job is to keep people safe. And your job should be to help rehabilitate.
They'll keep him in segregation and escort him everywhere, as they do with all high-profile.
I'm sorry, I'm talking over stuff.
Today, one of the most notorious murderers in Cleveland history is arriving.
Cleveland.
While he's here, he'll need special attention from the SRT.
This dude doesn't even...
They'll keep him in segregation and
He's given
escort
up.
him everywhere, as they do with all high-profile inmates.
All right, Morales, we're going to go all the way down to the end.
When he was 22 years old, Alfred Morales kidnapped and beat to death his best friend's 12-year-old brother.
That's awful.
It was an act of revenge, since his friend refused to give him an alibi for a car theft.
Oh, wow. You showed him.
Morales denies that he set out to murder the boy.
My intentions was just to go to the movies that night with a friend. That was it. Somewhere during that time.
What?
Smoked some reefer, drank some beer.
And then I murdered a boy.
Couple,
What?
hits of acid. I always say that pretty sure that whatever I smoked probably had been laced with something.
Oh, yeah. You smoked, it was laced with something. You just said you took acid. What are you talking about? Maybe the acid would... You don't have to smoke something late. And what are you smoking that makes you murder children? Okay, so there's a certain line that needs to be drawn. Not saying we don't need to understand all inmates and people's problems. Like, this guy didn't have an easy life prior to this charge. He wasn't normal and then hurt somebody awfully, fatally. But it takes a special someone to, with your hands, beat a child to death. And he's still spewing bullshit about it. He was like, I was just going to go to the movies with a friend. And then he said, smoke some reefer, have a couple drinks. And then it's like, ooh, and take acid. And then he's making up, oh, and then the weed was laced with something. Okay, but you just said you took what? There's not a drug out there that makes you just murder people.
I blacked out.
Sentenced to death, Morales has spent nearly a quarter of a century waiting to be executed.
That
Until
sucks.
now.
I've been on death row for 24 years. Right now, I'm back here in the county for resentencing. So
That dude
I got
hasn't
my
showered
death
in a
penalty.
week. You can tell. It's so gross. That's how it is in county sometimes. Stinky, stinky, stinky.
Morales says he feels remorse for murdering the boy.
Well, yeah, but you're still making up stories.
That I ain't thought about the crime because of the fact that I was close to the victim's family, and so that's always on my mind every day.
That's a bad reason to remember the crime and think about the crime and have remorse for the crime just because you knew the family. Like, if you didn't know the family, it wouldn't occur to you that you should feel a little guilty about it.
Not drifting off, thinking about this, thinking about that.
I don't think all inmates are innocent. Let's be clear about that. My mom doesn't like it when I get angry.
Morales will face a judge.
Skip ahead a little bit here.
And none more strongly than 25-year-old
I think
Billy
it's
Smiley. Down in Intake, Smiley
Intake.
is getting booked for
That's why he's in
aggravated
street
robbery
clothes.
and kidnapping
He's just now getting there.
before being taken to a pod by an officer from the SRT. Smiley's already been in the pen 3 times.
Gross.
He
That
was
sucks.
released 3 months ago after a 1-year stretch.
Oh, that always happens. Oh, you get out for like 3 months and then you go back. That is the worst.
Falsely accused. He maintains he was in prison when the crime was committed.
He was in.
Okay.
Okay.
Commit a crime while I'm already in jail.
It appears he was ID'd only on the basis of a photograph. And he insists the system should be able to verify his story.
That's super possible. If that's the only piece of evidence they have.
2 gun cases and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff that supposed to happen.
You know what sucks though?
Incarcerated the whole time.
All of that sucks that the family that is victim to that has to suffer that first, regardless of who did it.
Smiley has to wait for the court to figure out if his
That.
alibi holds water.
That's what sucks. Is even if he didn't do it, he's about to be in there for 2 months.
Sir,
Yeah, I'm grown,
you're
man.
grown, but I need you to close your mouth right now, all right?
Alright, what up?
Slide all the way down, put your back on the wall.
Time inside Cuyahoga can make a man angry.
Yes.
Just go punch somebody because I be feeling all, like some days when you wake up in here, man, it's just you just feel like lost.
And
Yes.
Smiley. Too tough.
He's not wrong. Smart guy.
House temporarily in
For real though,
jail's intake dorms.
I know that this might not be a good dude, but you can
Smiley's
tell
already
he's a smart
arguing
guy.
with his jailers.
Man, I ain't getting in no shower.
You ain't gonna take no shower? You know, taking no shower.
Yeah, you show them. I'm not gonna clean.
You wanna go already?
If he continues to make trouble, he could end up in administrative segregation, isolated from other prisoners in a tiny cell.
Everybody take showers and all that to get off the bunks now. That's his rule, man. So how you gonna make up a new rule for something that ain't even mandatory? That ain't
is-
mandatory, man. That ain't even in the rule book.
Obviously, again, like the last video we watched, the other episode, a lack of communication between the guard and the inmate. Like, the guard could probably express better, I want you to take a shower because it's good for you. I'm not trying to be an asshole. And the inmate could express better, I feel like you're just trying to exert power over me for no reason. Definitely COs will make up some stuff. I don't know this situation well enough to say that's exactly what's happening here, but it always comes down to, not always, 99% of the time comes down to just a lack of real human connection and communication, because the COs are jaded. Their job is tough. They don't want to actually communicate with these people. They don't even want to view them as people. It makes their life a lot harder to do that. And the inmates don't trust authority at all. Their whole life, anybody that's been in a position of authority, even parental authority, has probably treated them wrong.
Fighting with an officer.
Somebody's fighting with an officer.
Control of the unruly inmate. He responds to an emergency
This guy's
call with an inmate fighting with an officer.
they're not making it. They know that. Just make it look like we're running.
Inmate Clint Boyd is in jail on charges of stalking and harassment.
Gross.
The officers used pepper foam to subdue him.
Just pepper spray that sticks to your skin.
Like it's on fire.
Pepper foam, yeah.
For their safety.
So even a stalking charge and harassment and stalking charges, inmates are going to look at that like a funny charge, like any other sex charge. So if somebody is a rapist, they're going to get treated the same as if somebody just has a stalking charge. So this guy is eventually going to go to prison and get like cuffed or just hurt real badly. It doesn't matter if an inmate can misconstrue, even consciously misconstrue your charge as something funny and then get something out of you. They typically will, because they're hungry. They want food. Although this guy doesn't necessarily look like he's going to just sit there and take his knocks. Spin him around. Are they, what is this? It looked like they were going to, what's it called? When you run water over somebody's face when they have a towel over it, it's torture? What is this? What's that called? What is that called? Water, torture, towel. Waterboarding. I'm an idiot. Waterboarding. Looked like they were going to waterboard him. They're going to wash the pepper out. Okay, they're going to wash his face to get... That's good. That's nice. But what is this on his face right now? It looks like a beekeeper. Maybe he was like trying to bite. It's nice that they're doing that. They don't always do that. Let you take a shower like 4 hours after it happened. It's not nice. I'm not saying it's not. It's just like that's better than it could be. It's not nice to dress somebody like a beekeeper and spray them with pepper spray and then dump water on their head, but it's better than it could be.
Check this out. Are you ready to talk to the nurse? Hey, that water's hurt my eyes worse. Come on, come on. Hey, you're hurting worse.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, I know the video quality sucks, guys. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. You can't see. It's real blurry. His eyes are definitely swollen red. So a lot of times, like chemical spills, as you guys, I'm sure already know this, like if you put water on it, water isn't an agent that can diffuse the chemical. It'll just spread it around. That's why like firefighters are equipped in certain situations. They don't just spray everything with water, and that's why they have to find out what's causing the fire. Sometimes you have to use different chemicals to put it out, or sand, or whatever it is. Like so, pepper spray, capsaicin, which is the same chemical that's in like jalapenos. That's why it's called pepper spray. It's just an insane amount of Scoville units, which are the units used to measure how spicy something is. Like let's say a jalapeno is like 10,000. Scoville units. I'm making that up, but I think it is something like that. Pepper spray is like 13 million, something way more than just a hot pepper, a pepper that's already really hot. And water, you have to use fats like oils, stuff in dairy, to negate that heat that causes the capsaicin to break down. Water literally just spreads it around. That's why if you've ever eaten a hot pepper and you take a sip of water, it might help for a moment and then it just gets hot again. It's ridiculous, dude.
All right. You sure? Yeah, I'm trying. Open your eyes then. Hold on. That's when it started burning a while ago. Is when they got it. Say his name in there so all right.
Sucks. And it's just going to burn. Like, there's not really a good way anyways, especially with just water. Yeah, you can sort of see here. I don't mean to be, like, torturing you guys. Like, you can see how red this is. You can't. The video sucks. But you can see, like, he's either got a black eye or something's really wrong. And beekeeper. It's just going to burn for a while.
Sergeant Kelly, a member of the jail's SRT, calms the inmate down while they wait for a staff
He looks okay
psychiatrist
there,
to
though.
evaluate him.
Maybe he's just got dark eyes. I don't know.
Fight was over food.
But no, I think he's actually got a black eye.
You're trying to cause conflicts, confrontations with y'all. I just wanted some food, man, this morning. I wanted some food. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't eat. I haven't eaten in 3 days.
It's very
milk and cheese products.
sure that's true.
I'm lactose.
When you get in there, you have an allergy. You might have a deadly gluten allergy or something, or a peanut allergy. It takes days to get that approved by a prison or jail doctor, excuse me. So he's probably been in there for days, literally, without a single thing to eat, unless another inmate has been nice to him, because everything, they'll give you, the only thing you get is a cheese sandwich. Now, could he peel off the bread and do that? He's probably picking at bread and whatever, but like, he's not eating. I've seen that a bunch of times. I even lied to them and told them that I was Jewish. I had to get on a kosher diet, and that was the only way that I could get fresher stuff. Like I could get real boiled eggs instead of like gross powdered scrambled eggs. And I learned that trick from somebody else that said, hey, if you want a slightly better breakfast, tell them you're Jewish. So that's what I did. And that took a while, but I didn't actually need that. But people that need it have to wait. I even had to wait at work release. It was quicker. It only took a couple days, but I still had an allergy. A couple days.
I haven't eaten in 3 days. And now this morning when I woke up, was so hungry. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
This is.
Mr. Boyd, what's going on?
It's now up to staff psychiatrist Dr. West to determine if Boyd is rational or he needs to be moved to mental health to protect him.
Okay, well, he hasn't eaten food. Okay, so like humans need food. So he hasn't eaten food. Sounds like he's being pretty rational. He's pissy because he hasn't eaten. You guys ever get hangry after like 7 hours of only having like a snack or something like that? Okay, go 3 days. Is he being rational? Let me think about it. Now, I'm glad they're bringing a psychiatrist over. That was almost the point of this video earlier, but feed the man.
And the officers.
Sufficiently calm now?
Now I am, because just laying in here.
Yeah, his eyes are
just
screwed
laying
up.
in here like that, it's got my mind dwelling on. I need to keep my mind occupied off other stuff. Even
I hate that.
or whatever.
Okay. If you
Torture,
feel like you
dude.
can control your behavior and you're not having any thoughts of hurting yourself or other people.
But then his eyes look
all right,
fine.
Then I'm fine sending you off the psych ward. You don't need to be up here. You can go up to the
I don't want no problems with nobody. I didn't even want no problems with that man.
Okay.
I don't want no problems with nobody. I want to get
Like,
the
to
wrapped
think
up and
about what
over
you
with.
do before. Remember, you're in jail, and the first issue here is security. Okay. All right. Very good.
So, first issue in jail is security. Okay, like, I get it. For sure. But let's be honest, that's where it stops. There's not a second priority. There could be many priorities tied with security. This guy he's making a video for Instagram.
Boyd doesn't need to go to mental health.
That's got to be part of the show, or they record when there's a psychiatric issue to make sure they're being treated right, which is good. I've not seen that, if that's what that is.
With an officer. 2 p.m., 7th floor. Sergeant Kelly's just gotten a disturbing break in his investigation of the heartless felons.
The felons is
He's
back.
received an anonymous kite, prison slang for a written
There you go.
message.
Written message, a letter. It's called a
Plans to
kite.
attack an uncooperative inmate.
Because kites fly, baby.
It's called a kite. It's an inmate request form that was
That's not
left
a
on
kite.
the officer's desk when he was doing a round.
Okay,
That's what
that's
it
a kite,
says. It
yeah.
says, look, read, soon as possible, big trouble.
Yeah.
And again, read, soon as possible, big trouble.
So there's somebody
You
snitching
open
in the
it up,
dorm.
Where it says inmate's name should be, it says, big fight, help soon as possible.
Yeah.
It says then, there is some heartless felons about to start a big fight. There is a lot of us that is scared and don't want to get hurt by them.
Yeah.
So help us as soon as possible, please.
That's nice.
Here are some of their cells and names.
I feel less antagonistic towards, snitches than I used to. That's for sure. There are many occasions where somebody tells only to benefit themselves and it hurts somebody else immeasurably. That is BS. But this situation is good.
And they named 4 individuals.
He's trying to protect himself and other
one
people.
Of the 4 they're naming as the ringleader.
Among the names, Martino Harris and Mario Minor.
Yeah,
Kelly
big
and his
surprise,
team
right?
race to the 7th floor pod. They need to act fast. The kite also claims the gang's armed.
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon.
I'm curious to see what they're armed with. Like
Over a
nails,
dozen
you'll find all sorts of
special
stuff.
response team and other officers
Just
stormed
pieces
the
of metal
building
you can
to
pry
house
off
the
of the
suspected
door,
homicide.
all sorts of weird crap, man.
Speed is critical. They've been tipped off that the gang has a homemade weapon or shank. They need to
A homemade
fast
weapon.
before it's used against another
We'll share it.
or an officer.
And this guy's working on his mixtape.
And go after the four alleged ringleaders.
Bow, 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 bow.
We want to try to show force. You want to remove them from the area so it doesn't snowball into something bigger.
One of their targets is inmate Tino Harris, reputed to be the general of the Heartless Felons.
They keep mentioning this
Says
dude.
Harris and
We
3
get
other
it.
gang members are planning to attack uncooperative inmates.
Attack uncooperative inmates, people that weren't giving up their food, probably.
They could face longer sentences.
It's tough, man, because these guys are probably facing decades of time, so they don't feel like they have anything to lose. Think about when you were young, like when I was young, and I know it's not terrible for everybody, but think about when you're young, like you felt invincible. You didn't have any ability. Your brain wasn't done growing yet. So then think about 30 years of your life being taken away, maybe even more for these guys. They don't feel like they have a life left. There's nothing for them to lose. They'll do whatever now. It's scary.
Sir, I ain't know nothing, man. I don't know nothing about nothing. Man, please believe me, sir. I don't know nothing about nothing, man.
Well, there's weapons in that pod. Somebody knows something.
No,
All right,
no,
you've been
no.
implicated. We're gonna investigate.
So I gotta go to the hole.
Yeah,
something
absolutely,
I can do.
absolutely.
I promise to God, man, my little sister's soul, Jesus Christ.
It has
I don't
nothing to
know
do with it. Nothing to do with it.
I tell you who.
Go, sir.
The rest of the inmates
Something you hear a lot
pod and into
is
the
like,
ring area.
on my mama, on God, like saying like, if I'm lying, like, kill my mom or something. Like, obviously not literally, but
Kelly needs to have every
like,
one of the
you know,
inmates in the
God
process
forget me if I'm lying.
he has the weapon on him.
Which definitely loses its meaning if you are lying, which is mostly the case. Like, it's like when somebody starts a sentence with honestly, they're probably lying. If you're telling the truth, you don't have to proclaim honesty, you just say it.
Sergeant Kelly and the other officers carefully search the cells for the weapon. Inmates are masters at hiding things.
Masters.
In toilets, in sinks, beneath beds,
Whoa.
behind wall sockets.
Yeah.
Officers
Up there,
uncover the shank.
but
It
that's
was
pretty
hidden under
normal.
the plastic liner in a garbage can.
Yeah.
It could be used to stab anyone who gets out of line.
Crazy, dude.
Say if a shank hit in,
Looks like a guitar string.
or if you're immediately with the garbage bag out of the can and find this.
It's a rigid
Yeah.
piece of metal with a makeshift handle.
Like napkins.
Officers also discover where the wire for the shank came from.
There we go.
I don't know, because that's the only one missing. That's just a functional one.
The cleaning solution jug, the spring that would actually control the pump. is
People
what
are
they
so-
actually removed to make the weapon.
When they
It was
think about it
probably
like
about a
life or
5,
death,
6
think about
inch
pulling that
rigid
pump
piece
off to
wire
find a metal
to stick
spring.
someone
Like,
with. They were
what?
showing different inmates in the housing unit the weapon, and that in the sense that they didn't comply or do what they wanted them to do.
That's crazy.
That, you know, they were gonna assault
Right.
you on the
Now, let's be honest, that wasn't going to do that much damage, but it would still be scary. Get that in your eye? Yuck. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful day. I know this was whatever. I like it. This is fun. I'm going to do more of this. So take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah! Bye.